What if the biggest difference between people who stay stuck financially and those who build lasting wealth has nothing to do with luck, talent, or even income? What if the real secret is something simple but difficult? Discipline. Every day, millions of people earn money, but only a few know how to keep it, grow it, and turn it into freedom. They chase bigger paychecks, yet remain trapped in the same cycle of stress, debt, and frustration. Meanwhile, others with ordinary incomes quietly build extraordinary lives. Why? Because they understand the power of financial discipline and growth. Tony Robbins teaches that wealth is not built overnight. It is built decision by decision, habit by habit, and month by month. The small choices you make today determine whether you struggle tomorrow or succeed beyond your expectations. Financial freedom is not reserved for the lucky few. It belongs to those who master themselves. In this video, you'll discover 5 powerful lessons that can transform how you think about money, spending, saving, and creating long-term success. If you've ever felt behind, overwhelmed, or unsure how to move forward, stay with me until the end, because one of these lessons could completely change your future. Lesson 1. Master delayed gratification. The fundamental architecture of financial failure is built upon the shaky foundation of immediate impulses. Most people find themselves trapped in a cycle of perpetual debt or stagnation because they are psychologically tethered to the now. They operate under a dopamine-driven model of consumption, purchasing items they do not need to impress a social circle that is likely too preoccupied with their own appearances to notice. This sacrifice of the future for the sake of temporary pleasure is the ultimate tax on one's potential. Discipline, in its purest financial form, begins the moment you decide that your future self deserves more respect than your current whim. It is the conscious choice to endure a minor momentary discomfort in exchange for a lifetime of sovereignty. To break the cycle of impulsive spending, you must develop a rigorous internal filtering system. Before any non-essential transaction, you must pose a critical question. Does this purchase serve as a bridge to my long-term goals, or is it a barrier? When you view a dollar not as a piece of paper to be traded for a latte or a gadget, but as a wealth worker, your perspective shifts. Every dollar you save and invest is essentially a tireless employee working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to earn more dollars for you. By choosing to forego the trivialities of today, you are essentially hiring an army that will eventually fund your freedom. This is not about deprivation, it is about strategic allocation. The psychology of delayed gratification is often misunderstood as a life of misery, and no. In reality, it is a life of not yet, so that later you can say always. Temporary sacrifice is the price of admission for permanent rewards. Think of it as a compounding interest of character. Each time you resist the urge to buy a depreciating asset, like a brand new car that loses value the moment it leaves the lot, you are strengthening the neural pathways associated with self-control. Over time, this discipline becomes effortless. You begin to find more joy in the growth of your brokerage account than in the acquisition of clutter. This shift marks the transition from a consumer mindset to an owner mindset. Furthermore, mastering this lesson requires an honest assessment of social pressures. We live in an era of lifestyle theater where social media feeds are curated to showcase peak consumption. The pressure to keep up with the perceived success of others is a primary driver of financial ruin. True financial masters understand that wealth is what you don't see. It is the unspent capital, the untapped credit lines, and the growing equity. By detaching your self-worth from your possessions, you gain the ultimate competitive advantage, the ability to live below your means without feeling inferior. This silence of stealth wealth is far more powerful than the loud, fragile display of high-interest lifestyle financing. Finally, consider the long-term mathematical impact of this discipline. If you take the money saved from avoiding a $500 monthly car payment and instead invest it into a diversified index fund with an average annual return of 7% to 10%, you are looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars over a few decades. That minor sacrifice today translates into the ability to retire years, perhaps even a decade, earlier than your peers. The cost of immediate gratification is not just the price tag. It is the lost opportunity cost of what that money could have become. When you master delayed gratification, you are no longer trading your life energy for objects, you are trading it for time, and time is the only resource that cannot be replenished. Lesson 2. Pay yourself first. The standard approach to personal finance is a recipe for mediocrity. Earn money, pay the landlord, pay the utility company, pay the grocery store, and then hope there is a sliver of capital left for the future. Usually there isn't. This leftover strategy fails because human nature dictates that expenses will always rise to meet the available income, a phenomenon known as Parkinson's law. To achieve true wealth, you must radically invert this formula. You must become your own most important creditor. Paying yourself first means that before a single cent goes toward your rent, your Netflix subscription, or your dining out, a predetermined percentage of your income is diverted into your freedom fund. The beauty of this system lies in its automation. When you treat your savings and investments as a non-negotiable bill that must be paid to your future self, you force your lifestyle to adapt to the remaining balance. It is far easier to adjust your spending habits when the money is already gone from your checking account. This creates a healthy level of forced scarcity. You will find that you are surprisingly resourceful when you have $100 less to spend each week, but you will never find that same $100 at the end of the month if it is just sitting in your wallet. It is a psychological hack that bypasses the need for constant willpower. It is a common misconception that you need a large salary to begin paying yourself first. In reality, the amount is secondary to the habit. If you cannot save $1 out of 10, you will not be able to save 10,000 out of 100,000. The habit of consistent allocation builds a financial muscle memory that scales as your career progresses. Starting with even 1% or 5% of your income establishes the infrastructure of wealth. As you grow accustomed to living on 95% of your earnings, you can gradually tilt the scales, increasing your savings rate to 10%, 20%, or even 50%. The momentum generated by this consistency is what eventually creates the escape velocity needed to leave the rat race. Paying yourself first is also an act of self-empowerment. It sends a powerful message to your subconscious: my future and my security are more important than my current creditors. This builds a sense of agency and reduces the anxiety associated with financial instability. When you have a growing pile of capital that belongs solely to you, you are no longer a slave to your employer or your circumstances. You gain walkaway power. This psychological cushion allows you to make better career decisions, take calculated risks, and negotiate from a position of strength. You aren't just saving money, you are buying options for your future. Ultimately, this lesson is about prioritizing your life's work over your life's maintenance. Most people spend their best years maintaining a lifestyle they can barely afford, effectively working for the bank and the mall. By paying yourself first, you ensure that a portion of every hour you work stays with you forever. That money becomes the seed for your future orchard. Over time, the harvest from those seeds, dividends, interest, and capital gains will eventually exceed your labor income. This is the moment of financial independence, and it is only reachable if you make the commitment to put your own financial health at the top of the ledger every single time you get paid. Lesson 3. Grow your financial knowledge. Capital without a map is a recipe for a shipwreck. One of the most dangerous myths in our society is that making more money is the sole solution to financial problems. However, history is littered with lottery winners and star athletes who went bankrupt despite earning millions. The missing ingredient is always financial literacy. Tony Robbins frequently notes that the game of money is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. But if you don't understand the mechanics, your psychology will be rooted in fear. Financial education is the process of turning the mysterious black box of the economy into a transparent set of tools that you can use to build your life. Understanding the difference between an asset and a liability is the cornerstone of this knowledge. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, like a high-interest credit card balance or a luxury car loan, while an asset is something that puts money into your pocket, like stocks, real estate, or a business. Many people spend their lives acquiring liabilities that they think are assets. Growing your knowledge means learning to read a balance sheet and an income statement, even if only for your personal household. It means understanding how inflation erodes your purchasing power and why keeping all your money in a low-interest savings account is actually a slow way to lose wealth. Furthermore, one must master the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. As Einstein reportedly said, "He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." Financial education allows you to see the long-term trajectory of your decisions. It teaches you that a $10,000 investment made in your 20s is worth vastly more than the same investment made in your 40s due to the power of time. When you study the principles of diversification and asset allocation, you move from being a gambler in the stock market to being an investor. You learn to manage risk rather than avoid it, recognizing that the greatest risk of all is doing nothing and letting your potential stagnate. The pursuit of financial knowledge should be an ongoing, lifelong endeavor. The world of finance is dynamic, tax laws change, new investment vehicles emerge, and economic cycles shift. Reading foundational books such as The Intelligent Investor or The Richest Man in Babylon provides a timeless base, but staying informed on modern trends is equally vital. This doesn't mean chasing the latest meme stock or crypto scam. Rather, it means studying the habits of successful investors like Warren Buffett or Ray Dalio to understand their philosophy on resilience and value. The more you know, the less you rely on tips from others, and the more you trust your own disciplined strategy. Finally, financial literacy is the ultimate cure for the anxiety that keeps many people awake at night. Fear is almost always a product of the unknown. When you understand how debt works, you can create a mathematical plan to eliminate it. When you understand how the market fluctuates, you don't panic during a downturn. You see it as a sale on quality assets. Education transforms confusion into a concrete plan of action. It gives you the confidence to say no to bad deals and yes to opportunities that align with your goals. In the information age, ignorance is a choice, and in the realm of money, it is a choice that carries a very high price tag. Lesson 4. Increase income while controlling lifestyle. The phenomenon of lifestyle creep is the silent killer of wealth. It is a seductive trap. As you work harder and earn promotions, you feel you deserve a better car, a larger home, and more expensive vacations. While there is nothing wrong with enjoying the fruits of your labor, the danger arises when your expenses grow at the same rate or faster than your raises. This leaves your net cash flow stagnant despite your higher gross income. You become a high-income poor person, someone who earns six figures but lives paycheck to paycheck because their overhead is so massive. Breaking this cycle requires a radical decoupling of your earnings from your spending. The strategy for true wealth accumulation is to maintain a low-cost lifestyle even as your income enters the upper echelons. Imagine your income as a river. If you widen the banks, your expenses, every time the water level rises, the depth of the water, your wealth never increases. However, if you keep the banks narrow, the water level will rise rapidly, creating a powerful current that can be diverted into investments. When you receive a raise, the most disciplined move is to act as if it never happened. Continue living on your previous salary and direct 100% of the new money into your investment accounts. This allows you to accelerate your journey to financial freedom without feeling any new pain in your daily life. Controlling lifestyle inflation doesn't mean living like a hermit. It means being intentional about what truly adds value to your life. Most people spend money on status signals to prove to others that they are doing well. True discipline is found in the ability to be rich rather than looking rich. When your income increases, you might choose to upgrade one specific area of your life that provides immense joy or utility, perhaps better quality food or a more comfortable mattress, while keeping your major fixed costs, housing and transportation, stagnant. By capping your big expenses, you create a massive surplus that can be used to buy your freedom. This approach creates a compounding gap between your earnings and your needs. The wider this gap, the faster you achieve financial independence. If you can earn $150,000 a year but live comfortably on $50,000, you are effectively buying 2 years of freedom for every 1 year you work. This is the ultimate life hack. Most people are stuck in a 1-1 ratio, working 1 year to pay for 1 year of life. By controlling your lifestyle, you change the math in your favor. You become the master of your money rather than its servant. This surplus also provides a massive safety net, making you virtually unfireable because you don't need the next paycheck to survive the month. In conclusion, your income is your greatest wealth-building tool, but it only works if you keep it. If you spend it all on a lifestyle that requires a high income to maintain, you have effectively built a golden cage for yourself. You are forced to keep working a high-stress job just to keep the lights on in your big house. Real success is the ability to walk away, to pursue your passions, and to spend time with your family. That only happens when you let your money grow significantly faster than your spending. Let your investments fund your luxuries later rather than using your labor to fund them now. That is the hallmark of a disciplined financial mind. Lesson 5. Stay consistent through setbacks. The path to financial mastery is never a straight line. It is a jagged series of peaks and valleys. Many people start their journey with high enthusiasm, but they vanish at the first sign of a market crash, a job loss, or a failed investment. The defining characteristic of the wealthy is not a lack of failure, but a surplus of persistence. Discipline is easy when the stock market is hitting all-time highs and your paycheck is steady. True discipline is tested when you are down 30% on your portfolio and an unexpected medical bill arrives. Success belongs to those who can maintain their strategy when the weather of the economy turns cold. Setbacks should be viewed not as signals to quit, but as tuition in the school of experience. Every mistake carries a lesson that can prevent a much larger catastrophe in the future. If you lost money on a speculative investment, the lesson might be the importance of diversification. If you find yourself in debt again, the lesson might be a flaw in your emotional spending triggers. The disciplined person does not beat themselves up over a mistake. They conduct an after-action report, adjust their system, and get back on the path. The only way to truly fail is to let a temporary setback become a permanent exit from the game. Consistency is the secret sauce that makes all other financial lessons work. The math of compound interest requires time, and time requires you to stay invested. If you jump in and out of the market trying to time the perfect moment, you will almost certainly miss the few days of massive growth that account for the majority of long-term returns. Likewise, if you stop your automatic savings plan every time there is a scary headline in the news, you break the momentum that builds wealth. The goal is to be boringly consistent. You want a system that runs on autopilot so that your emotions cannot sabotage your progress during periods of volatility. It is also vital to recognize that your financial self and your emotional self are often at odds. During a setback, your brain's amygdala triggers a fight or flight response, urging you to sell everything and hide. Resilience is the ability to let your rational self, the one that understands the lessons of history and math, take the wheel. History shows that every market downturn has been followed by an eventual recovery and new highs. Those who stayed the course were rewarded. Those who panicked were left behind. By staying consistent through the dark times, you position yourself to catch the rising tide when it inevitably returns. Ultimately, the financial journey is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be miles where your legs feel heavy and you want to sit down. There will be rain and wind. But the finish line, total financial sovereignty, is only available to those who keep moving forward. If you fall behind, simply reset your goals and start again the next day. If you lose your way, go back to the basics of paying yourself first and growing your knowledge. The discipline to persist long after the initial excitement has faded is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Keep your eyes on the horizon, trust your system, and remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory over the person you used to be. The power of financial discipline and growth is not found in one lucky break, one giant paycheck, or one perfect opportunity. It is built through daily choices repeated over time. Every time you save instead of overspend, invest instead of delay, learn instead of ignore, and persist instead of quit, you become stronger financially. Tony Robbins reminds us that wealth is not just money in the bank. It is freedom, peace of mind, options, and the ability to live life on your terms. And that future starts long before the money arrives. It begins with discipline. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be rich today. You do not need to know everything. You only need to start where you are, use what you have, and commit to steady growth. Small steps taken consistently create massive results over time. So ask yourself today, what financial habit must I change right now? What action can I take immediately? Maybe it's saving your first dollar, cutting one wasteful expense, or learning one new principle about money. Your future is being shaped by what you do today. Choose discipline now and growth will follow. Your financial freedom may be closer than you think.